Welcome to episode 33 of the Steel Pirate Media Show. We are bringing you a special episode tonight. We're bringing you the first annual SPs. Yep, we're doing an award show, folks. Our own award show. We went a little off the beaten path. We got our creative wands out, if you will, and put something together for you. We hope you enjoy it. But I guess without further ado, let's kick it off with our first SP of 2025. Josh?
Not to be confused or copywritten, sketchy business there. It's the SP. Is it? You know what I'm saying?
The letter
S,
S and the letter P.
That's it.
letter S followed by the letter P. It's not like we wouldn't do that. So my award is the Bill Levy Award, and it's titled the Bill Levy Award because Bill Levy is one of the worst referees in the history of the NFL. But he at least had a come to Jesus moment where he manned up and did the right thing, and he came out and told the world nationally that he had sleepless nights and that he had kicked two extremely vital calls in the 2006 Super Bowl that ultimately cost the Seattle Seahawks their first ring. He's a piece of garbage, but at least he did the right thing and manned up and committed to it. So God bless Bill Levy. This one's a memory of you, buddy. This award goes to the worst call or no calls of the NFL season, which is pivotal this year, like it should be every year, but it was very pivotal this year because I feel like we took at least 10 minutes every week for this entire regular season to bitch about at least one very obvious call that should have or should not have been made. Uh, it was just very bad officiating this year. And so, as I get this in front of me here, I'll tell you the candidates and who the ultimate winner was. We had the Week 16 Texans versus Chiefs. The strip sack fumble that was returned for a touchdown that got actually turned into an incomplete pass and a roughing the passer. We had the first Steelers Bengals game where there was a 4th and 1 where whoever the Steelers defensive tackle was, his foot was literally parallel to the football on a neutral zone infraction, and it ended up coming back as an Alex Kappa false start. The Xavier Woods not getting ejected for the attempted murder of Chris Olave. God be with his healing soul. The Bears Lions Thanksgiving game where Kyler Gordon was called for a horse collar tackle on Jameer Gibbs, and his arms were wrapped around his waist. And the Week 10 Ravens Bengals. Ultimately, I said two no calls, but it was ultimately the end of the game where there were five penalties by the Ravens and just nothing, no flags, nothing. Joe Burrow's
You,
helmet was he was looking through the ear hole with his eye, and there just nothing was wrong there. So those were the blatant candidates that I was able to come up with, and our winner was the Week 16 matchup between the Texans and the Chiefs, where a strip sack that was returned for a touchdown ended up becoming a incomplete pass and a roughing the passer against the Texans, which I will say feels like maybe some recency bias there. Personally, I will say that I voted for the Bengals Ravens, where it was just almost every possible penalty that could have been called against the Ravens. And there were three officials staring at that play taking place. And at this point, they were just saying, it's late. It's, this is the third time we've had to run this play. It's time to go home. We're just not going to do it again. And they just decided, fuck it, we're going to end the game. That's where my money went. But it's also very easy to say that was a close second for me was the Chiefs Texans, just because it's like the Chiefs have had some assistance this year. I think we could all agree almost every fucking game that they won was by one score, and there was some questionable calls throughout the year to say the least. But that was just a clean strip sack fumble return for a touchdown, and then the refs all had to like discuss and they had to like try to figure out what are we going to say into a microphone on national television right now to make sense of this. And it was a swing and a miss. Didn't work. They said actually it was an incomplete pass on some tuck rule shit. They're like, actually, that was an incomplete pass. And there was roughing the passer. So turns out that's actually a first down for the Kansas City Chiefs. A touchdown for the Texans turned into a first down for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I can see why that award won. But yeah, why
So
which one did you guys
so
vote for and why?
I again, I don't know if we talked about this, but we as a group, plus Ronnie, there were 6 of us. We all voted on these awards that we have, and I voted for the strip sack turned to a roughing the passer situation, just because a few reasons. Why can't there's been some calls at times, and because of a turnover and you know defensive interior defensive linemen are built similarly to interior offensive linemen, and quarterbacks aren't built like linebackers. And because the quarterback got blocked on that play, there's now a penalty because of it. I don't have specific examples, but I'm sure somebody has seen such a thing because I know I have. So that's my problem with it. Did this roughing the passer happen after there wasn't a whistle because they didn't blow it dead, because they kind of let this thing kind of play itself out? And
Because it
then
Like you're
wasn't an
supposed to do.
incomplete pass.
Like you're supposed to do.
like exactly. So then Patrick Mahomes got blocked. So you threw a flag on that, but you didn't blow it dead. Like, come on, man. I don't know. That's tough for me. You're telling me that and I guarantee I'd be real interested to go back and look at this play. I didn't look at it, but that just popped in my
It was
head.
tuck
Like,
rule esque.
right,
It was tuck rule esque, and it
right.
was those kind of implications on the line too. It was a fucking playoff
Mm-hmm.
It was a playoff game in Week 16.
game. Yeah,
I'm pretty
You
sure
ain't. You don't say.
think I was pretty much the one that voted for Xavier Woods just because. I mean, Carolina Panther. We're laying the wood out there, guys. Panthers coming
he
next
tried to
year.
kill him. He
This is
tried
a
to
He
end his
bias.
did.
life.
He
This might be
did.
a biased
They had
opinion
to
from
wheel
Emmanuel.
out the ambulance on the. They had backed the ambulance out onto
They
the
brought
They
out the
field for
meat
him.
wagon.
didn't get ejected. That's why I was like,
But
feels like if there's any reason to get ejected, that would do it. But nope, he's
in mid
dead.
two
Young guy's
thousands, would
alive.
that be a penalty?
Sean Taylor looked down from the heavens on that play and said, "I remember doing that to a punter in the Pro Bowl."
I'm telling you guys,
R.I.P. Sean Taylor.
everybody's entitled to their opinions and everybody's allowed to have their own votes. But we all know the true worst call was missing 3 calls in one fucking play, 5 total calls on the drive, and basically fucking the Bengals out of the playoffs and, giving the Chiefs their free ride because we would have met them there. We would have. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Week 16, that was it, bro. You win that game, you're in the playoffs. You got a better shot.
So what did you vote for? The week 10, the Ravens Bengals.
Yeah. I'm sorry, week
Yeah.
10. Yes, correct.
Well,
I
now
mean,
you voted for the number one. So go
I
ahead.
definitely agree, but we've also talked about if you guys would have just tightened up week fucking 1, we're not having that conversation.
Regardless,
Respectfully,
two
respectfully.
games,
Corey, Corey
were
has the
taken out
number
of
one
our
pick. You guys
two
in the
games.
playoffs.
2 games were taken
Exactly.
out of my 2 games were taken off the schedule by bullshit calls from the Chiefs and the Ravens game, and the Steelers game too with
Right,
that fourth and one
but
bullshit. But
I'm not
but
I'm
but
not
it's all
I'm
right.
not
It's
even
all right.
arguing that. I'm just saying
You don't have to.
there's
If you would have
show up week 1.
tightened up week 1, doesn't make any sense. It's the first week out there. They don't play preseason. They didn't play preseason.
And it was the worst team.
If you would have tightened up week 1, that
This
doesn't
is
make
that
any sense.
you are the Joe Burrow guy. Joe Burrow sucks the first month of the season. So yes, we can
Correct.
say tighten it up.
He did have a baller second half. The whole squad had a baller second half. I'll keep it hot. I ain't
It
ignorant.
was against Jacoby Brissett. That's all I'm gonna say.
Game
Um,
manager
Y'all
Jacoby
are gonna be.
Brissett,
I
Ramondre
can't wait till
Stevenson.
this. I can't wait till this podcast runs and the Bengals go back to the Super Bowl. Y'all gonna hear hell from me. It'll rain hell down from this fucking podcast every day.
They
I'm gonna
with
let
a
everybody hear.
with a quarterback like Joe.
Damn Super Bowl this year.
Respectfully, with a quarterback like Joe Burrow, that's not an ignorant thing to say.
It's not a ignorant statement.
Nah.
I'm allowed to say it until
Hell
he's
yeah.
not on my team.
You can say it.
Hmm. I
So,
agree. I'll take it.
The only quarterback-
Congratulations to the Chiefs
He's-
for winning another award.
He's the only quarterback to go in the last fucking 5 years besides goddamn Mahomes from the AFC.
Eh,
And that's not accurate. It may not be 5 years, but it's something like that.
I think that's
Close.
accurate.
It's
Yeah.
actually accurate.
No, yeah, it is. It is.
It's actually accurate. Patrick
So-
Mahomes has had 8 straight AFC Championship game appearances.
Exactly. Well, when you only have to win one game and it's against a shitty team most of the time, you can get there. And you're Patrick Mahomes. You're the best quarterback. So
Yeah. Well,
And the next award.
is the bumpkin of the year. Okay. The bumpkin of the year is based off of the term bumpkin, and I'll read Webster's dictionary's definition here. A bumpkin is a disparaging term for someone who's unsophisticated and lacks social grace. This word is most commonly applied to people who live in the country, away from cultural events and urban life. A stereotypical bumpkin is uneducated, not well read, and not particularly interested in the wider world.
let us preface this by saying we mean no disparaging remarks to the two individuals.
Yes,
This is all in good fun.
everybody that I mean, I wish I could have been nominated for an award this year. I certainly wasn't. I would have been bumpkin of the year. Okay. But
I think we can go ahead and nominate you that right now.
okay.
2026 nominees include
Oh no, I can give you a run for your money, Raleigh.
Our nominations for the award were Xavier Legette, wide receiver, Carolina Panthers; Cody Ma, guard, Tampa Bay Buccaneers; Carson Wentz, quarterback, Kansas City; and Connor McGovern, center, Buffalo Bills. I'm going to start with McGovern. For those of you that don't know, McGovern
Well,
is
who won?
the winner of this award was actually there was co-winners. We were given 2 people this award, and those 2 people are Carson Wentz and Xavier Legette. They are the SB's 2025 Bumpkins of the Year.
Here we go. Go Panthers.
I'll start with Connor McGovern. Connor McGovern,
Pounded.
if you guys don't know this, but he is the heir to a $500 million potato farm.
Shout out to him. Hey,
That's why he became a nominee. I mean, you can't be the heir to a $500 million potato farm and not know your way around the old tractor, the old John Deere. What's up?
Is the tater farm in Idaho?
I have no idea. I mean, that's probably a pretty good guess,
I
but
would think.
I don't know how many potato farms are worth
Yes,
$500 million,
I tell
but
ye, it ain't in eastern North Carolina.
Yeah,
My
right.
family
Not here
had
in Florida.
1,200 acres, and we thought we were hot shit.
right.
500 million? That's a lot of fucking potatoes.
The second nominee here is Cody Ma. If you don't know who Cody Ma is, look him up.
North
I don't
Dakota
know.
State.
I don't know if I have to go much farther than just look him up, and if you'll see him, you'll know why he was a nominee.
He's a jackrabbit.
That's South Dakota State.
The
and
third,
nice-
the third in one of our winners is Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is a known country music concert goer. He has a pair of cowboy boots to wear to them, and I don't know if he wears them doing anything else. I'm just saying. He has a hat. I don't know if he rides horses. Just saying.
I would like to add to the Carson Wentz thing. The week before he started in week 18, I'm pretty sure he took his entire offensive line out for a duck hunting trip.
Yeah. Even better.
you know,
We're adding
might
two.
might have, you know, helped his case for sucking as bad
Co
as he did.
I
Co
wonder if
Bumpkin.
Yeah,
Jawan
well,
Taylor. I wonder
then
if
he
Jawan Taylor was false starting out there to scare the Ducks away.
then he walked
False starts
into that
everywhere else.
game.
He did walk into that game.
He walked in there.
8-0.
8 to
We
0.
lost you. We
walked
lost
in.
you.
We lost you, yeah.
Oh, am I here?
Yeah.
Yes, you're there.
He was walking into that game dressed like he was the opener for Mumford and Sons in a fucking concert, and then he got blown out to 0.
Yep. He did look like he was gonna go be a member or either perform or watch Mumford and Sons, and then he got blown out.
That Erie Wi-Fi is pushing its limits right now.
So
600 megabytes a second. I don't know what it is.
so, and then our last nominee, who personally I thought this was pretty.
It's a runaway.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was a runaway.
That was Xavier Leggett, the only man to this day that I know has and does eat raccoon on television. Who else has done it? You did it?
On
eaten
television?
raccoon
Not on
before.
television.
No,
Not
on
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 TV.
TV. Yeah, right. You ever
uh,
see Martha Stewart? Definitely wasn't chefing up no fucking raccoon. Is all I know. You know what
I'll
I'm saying?
say this: Xavier Leggett, after Thanksgiving, the media asked him, "What did they have at the Leggett household? We had a little bit of coon, a little bit of
We
rabbit,
had some. We had
had
some.
some squirrel. We won't do
You know
no
what I
turkey."
found? You know what I found a little concerning was he brought it from home and showed it to the reporters after practice, and it wasn't in the fridge.
In a
So that means
Tupperware.
it was just sitting lukewarm in the locker. A little disappointing. If you're gonna eat raccoon, at least
Take care
Hey,
of it.
hey,
refrigerated.
we don't know if they had temperature controlled lockers in the locker room. Okay, this
It's
is
Carolina.
the NFL we're talking about.
We're talking
They
about
could-
Tepper, right?
Carolina Panthers.
We are talking about the richest owner in the NFL right here, fellas.
No, I
Going
really
out.
thought with the publicity stunt, if you will, by Xavier Leggett and the Carolina Panthers social media team, that award was going to be unanimous, and it wasn't. Again, we had co-winners of the 2025 Bumpkin of the Year, Carson
I had
Wentz.
to vote for Carson Wentz, man. The only reason I had to vote for Carson Wentz is because he came out there and threw a bumpkin in Week 18. Really threw my hopes away. Threw my hopes away
I
as the Bengals
also
stay in the
voted for
playoffs.
Hudson Rents.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. I guess it was the three of us that voted.
Riddle, did you go Leggett?
Oh yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard him talk?
Hey, ask him to say where he's from. Mullins, South
Ask him
Carolina.
his
South
state and-
Carolina.
Bro, that's how
Yeah.
most people sound around here.
Wild.
Well, I don't know what you want me to tell.
Yeah, have you
Corey,
looked
kinda
around
sound like
there?
it a little
That's how
bit.
most people in
No.
America don't sound.
Uh,
That's what
Hey,
labeled him in that
hey.
group.
As somebody who has traveled around America the last 9 months, I can testify. When I speak, they say, "quote You're not from around here."
Yes,
I
they
said,
do.
I was
What
gonna say,
gave it away?
Says the guys from Erie. These guys over here talking about stop it. There ain't nothing left.
no. If you know your stuff,
Nah.
Erie has television talk, bro.
See,
There's
you guys
no
be
there's
talking-
no accent in Erie, bro. There's no the
Alright.
Pittsburgh, yes.
You go 2 hours south though. They say yins instead of you, and they say ahs instead of o's.
Don.
Don.
You go down a couple of miles, and you'll see where you can wash your hands in the wash house. Where yins just didn't know how to wash your hands in the wash house. That's 2 hours south of here, where English just wasn't fucking taught. I'd love to be in a fucking English class in 4th grade in Pittsburgh,
About 60 miles south as the crow flies.
where they try to explain. And you're a Patriots fan too, so you have that accent. And if you ever do end up in Boston, you have just a whole other realm of accent. Or if they
Oh,
try to
bro,
say
I've been up
Colorado,
there
it sounds like
several
gravity.
times.
If
What
they
does
try to
that
say
sound
Colorado, it
like?
sounds like gravity.
Fenway Park. You ever been to the park around the corner?
How
Let
does
me get
that
the
go?
khakis.
How does
That's
that
the
go
worst.
for you in Boston with the accents? Is it like two different languages? Is it like somebody cussing somebody out in fucking like Arabic and Chinese at the same time? It's just like
Bro,
just
I'll never
noise.
forget the first time I went to a restaurant called Abe and Louie's. It's a steakhouse in Boston. I sit down and I ask for sweet tea. They look at me like I'm the biggest clown ever, and they do not know what that is. They
Brother.
offered me some raspberry tea.
Brother, the only place you can get sweet tea in Boston, Mass is McDonald's.
I was gonna say, I
Yes.
don't think you could even get sweet tea at a steakhouse anywhere.
Right hand to God. You
Oh,
can't
bro.
get it anywhere but
Nah,
McDonald's.
there ain't a restaurant in their area code that doesn't have
No, they
sweet
got
tea.
Cracker Barrels in Boston.
Yeah,
dude.
like
Come on.
it's our sweet tea is almost syrup.
Yeah, for sure. You let that shit get too
Like,
warm, it's thick,
it's the staple drink of Eastern North
Ugh.
Carolina.
delicious.
That's a diabetic
Diabetes.
staple drink.
Hey.
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy from Medicare. If you have diabetes, probably from drinking Eastern North Carolina sweet tea.
You see the back of my neck?
Oh man.
Who's
All right,
next?
number
Who's next?
3.
All right. So I'll go for number 3. So this award is Worst Owner of the Year, and this award was really sparked by
Yep,
some
it's
debate.
the Bob Nutting Award.
The
Yes.
Bob Nutting Award, who
The
is
Bob Nutting
widely
Award.
considered the worst owner in professional sports.
This award came about from a debate between me and Avery because Avery called Bob Kraft racist. And that's where the idea for this award came from. So this owner continually makes poor decisions that continue setting the franchise back no matter what they do. And our candidates are Jerry Jones from the Dallas Cowboys, Woody Johnson from the New York Jets, Robert Kraft from the New England Patriots, Shaheed Khan from the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then the Haslam family for the Cleveland Browns. And our winner actually came in as Woody Johnson of the New York Jets because the Jets are always going to jet. And I would like to note that Bob Kraft did not get a single vote for this award.
Now, again, I did not vote for Robert Kraft because we said the worst owner. If we had labeled this the most racist owner, we probably would have had a tie between him and Jerry Jones.
So,
Calling Robert Kraft a racist is like calling the sky blue.
Woody Johnson came in first place.
Is it like
Jerry Jones came in second place. And then the Haslam family came in third place. Nobody else got
voted
any
for
votes.
the Haslams.
huh?
Yeah, jeez.
I wonder who voted for the
Yeah,
Haslams.
man. Wonder how that fucking came about. What are the odds?
Hold on. I think there's like a fly in here or some shit. Something buzzing in my ear and shit.
Corey, who did you vote for and why?
I personally voted for Jerry Jones just because
He was a
Cowboys
close.
are always
He
the
was.
Cowboys.
He was a close second, my boy.
However, being in the AFC East and knowing what I do about the Jets, I can see why Woody Johnson won. Because no matter what the Jets do, they always make a highlight that's a low light every single year, every single season.
But
That's all their season is.
bro, the Browns have never won shit.
Ugh.
They've won a
All right,
playoff game.
Riley, who did you
more
vote
recently.
for and
So
why?
I can see why you voted for the
I
Browns.
voted.
because
Listen,
they
I
have
voted
a
for the Browns.
rapist
I
as a
voted.
quarterback.
No. It's much farther than that, brother. I voted for the Browns for many more reasons than the rapist quarterback. Because as a Steelers fan, that's really the
Touchy
pot calling the kettle black now, aren't we?
Hold on.
So
hold
we'll
on.
move
We're a
past
podcast,
that
so
part.
we've got to say alleged
Riddle.
rapist to be legally compliant.
Yeah,
Alleged
allegedly.
rapist.
Allegedly.
Riddle just hit a home run there, and nobody heard it.
What'd you say, Brittle?
It's a touchy
No,
subject.
It was while Riley was saying it's the pot calling the kettle black.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
aware of what we're referencing.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
a touchy subject.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
wild.
Yeah,
that
no.
was a depth of comedy that I'm glad.
Yeah. Piss off.
I'll tell you.
But
The only reason I didn't vote the Browns is because Jerry Jones is just putting on a spectacular show.
yeah, but this is my thing. My thing is early on, Jerry Jones been at it a while. Jerry Jones been at it too long. Some might say he aged out, but nonetheless, he's still doing his thing down there. And yes, the last 2-3 years are absurd, bro. He fired Kellen Moore, who is going to the playoff or going to the Super Bowl next weekend, and or in 2 weeks, I guess, 2 weekends. But fired Kellen Moore, who's going to the Super Bowl this year, to hire Mike McCarthy as his play caller to call more running plays, which Mike McCarthy said in his press conference when they did that. Okay, then makes a comment a month ago about, yeah, Derrick Henry wouldn't be successful in the way we run offense, but your play caller is who you hired to run the ball, right? And then fires his head coach and hires the next offensive coordinator as his head coach, but he just fired the last guy who's in the
The
yes,
guy
bro.
who didn't call plays at all. The guy who didn't call plays
Yeah.
at all, who's basically
Derek-
a glorified offensive analyst with the title of offensive coordinator.
So yes, bro,
It's
I'm
funny,
with you.
Derrick Henry
Jerry
wouldn't work.
Jerry Jones in the last 48 months, 24 months is obscene. Has made some obscene things happen.
It's
But-
just funny you say Derrick Henry wouldn't work, and then they sign Ezekiel Elliott.
Right, bro. What?
Well,
Can we
I
can we
tell
get
you what.
on?
I tell
So
you
the
what.
Haslams,
Zeke is a cowboy for life. All right, he is a lifetime cowboy forever. All
Jerry
right,
must have seen the dog on him or
that is
something.
our modern day Emmitt Smith. All right, he
bro.
will forever be a cowboy.
The Haslams.
Can we go down the?
Hold on a second. The
Go ahead.
Haslams, as of recent in their entire history of that organization up to this point, have just absolutely botched everything. Everything. Recently, they left Deshaun Watson in for way too long. He should have been benched about a month before he got hurt. Okay, maybe he doesn't get hurt. They don't bench him. Then he blows his Achilles out after he blew his shoulder out the year before. The whole debacle of the Deshaun Watson and Baker Mayfield thing is just hysterical, because the amount of money you'd have been, dude, the amount of money they would have had to pay people to bring in talent to make Baker Mayfield better and let him grow is just unreal. They're a flavor of the day franchise that at all times. Whatever, they don't have a direction. Yeah, the Steelers might have held Matt Canada too long. Not going to argue that. But, bro, at least there was a attempt. They made a plan. They tried to execute that plan. And shy of a season, they pulled the plug. They let it go maybe a half a season too long. But
The Browns are like the Jets.
the
They're gonna
Browns are
always
just
be
like
shit.
the Browns are just like, oh, you know what? Today, fuck the whole trajectory of everything. We want Deshaun Watson. And then Deshaun Watson
So
hasn't played a full season since. What the fuck?
Have you seen the news or the stuff about how they might actually be able to get out of his contract due to a TikTok he posted?
That ain't gonna work.
I can verify they will not,
There's
because it
260
has been
million
verified.
reasons why they can't.
No. The clause that he's talking about is if he was re-injured outside of
No,
rehab.
it wasn't though.
And that's what I was gonna say. They're not
Okay.
going to be able to get out because he was injured in the facility while doing rehab.
Oh, that's the other thing, dog. If my franchise quarterback, the most expensive quarterback in the league, that's the leader of the team, right? How much airtime did he have on Hard Knocks? Somebody run that past me quick. How many
He
times,
wasn't there.
bro?
He
I
wasn't there
don't
in the
care.
building.
I'm just telling you. You had 260 million reasons why you're bringing the top of the line to you. LeBron does it. He's the greatest at his craft in another
Hey, you can't
professional
put an
sport.
alleged
Like,
rapist
bro,
on live TV.
Come
it
on
wasn't
out,
live.
you rapist.
It wasn't live.
Insert the Vince McMahon
I'm
clip
saying,
right in the
yeah.
here.
When have you seen Deshaun Watson all year? When have you seen media talk to him? When have you seen you don't
Bro,
see that shit?
I
You don't.
I hear you, but I'm just here to tell you that when he got hurt the year before, he was sitting up in the suite, posted in his arm brace. He wasn't down there on the field, being the guy
I'm
by
just
any
saying,
means.
nobody. He never gets interviewed. He never talks to cameras, and that's because you can't
So the
put a
award
lot.
went
You
to
can't put in a
the worst
rapist on there.
owner. We've been talking about Deshaun
Yeah,
Watson.
5 minutes. I agree.
Woody
I agree.
Johnson.
Yeah, Woody
Hold on.
Johnson.
While we're
I
on the
voted for
topic of
Woody Johnson because he's impulsive, he's easily influenced, he's overconfident, he has a team that's sitting on the longest streak of not winning a playoff game. He's just dumped money into whatever Aaron Rodgers tells him to do. He gave a 40-plus-year-old man coming off a fucking injury, 3 years removed from meaningful football, the keys to a fucking NFL franchise, sunk the fucking ship completely. They're rat fucked for the next 10 years. But at least they have Devontae Adams.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the problem.
I do. How many Jets games did you watch this year? He's so bad. He's not
Bro,
good.
when you don't show up to
If
OTAs,
you look
no,
up,
you can't not
if
show
you
up to
go look up Aaron
OTAs,
Rodgers stats, go
and
look
then,
up Aaron Rodgers stats.
bro.
Aaron Rodgers' stats
Can
look
we-
just like
hold
Josh
on.
Allen's.
Just like
Can
him.
we talk about
Just
one
like him.
thing?
There's no difference.
But let me tell you something.
Oh,
You
Aaron
can't.
Rodgers-
You
No, but
can't.
that's hold on. That speaks to how
They
good
had a-
Aaron Rodgers is. That speaks to
There
how
was
good Aaron Rodgers
the
is that he
Jets
has
had a top
Josh
5
Allen
defense.
season.
The Jets
All
had a
right,
top
go
5
ahead.
defense the last 2 years. I'm sorry, Gunner. I'm
You're
sorry,
good.
Gunner.
Listen,
The-
you can't, as
and they
Aaron
were the best.
Rodgers, as Aaron freaking Rodgers, you can't look at the camera post game and be like, "Yep, we gotta, just work harder," and then not show up to OTAs.
Can we talk about one thing though? Aaron Rodgers was, and this is a conspiracy theory thing I saw. Aaron Rodgers is a known anti-vaxxer. Like,
Yes.
been about it.
He's
Woody
immunized.
Johnson, him and his whole entire family, his great grandfather started Johnson and Johnson, who created a COVID vaccine.
Here's the
Somebody
thing,
made a
so-
theory that Aaron Rodgers intentionally sabotaged the Jets because of that.
The nail in the coffin for Woody Johnson ultimately winning and why I voted for him is because he decided, you know what, bringing Nate Hackett on is a good thing and it will make this team better.
That Jets offensive line is shit. They got rid of Mekhi Becton, who's having an all-pro season down there at Philadelphia.
Do you see
Go
the
ahead,
do you
go
see the
ahead.
headset that's on? Do you
They
see the headset
changed his
that's on Riley's
position
head
in
right now?
Philly.
I know, but
They
here's
took
the
him
thing.
from tackle to guard in Philly. Look at
You
him
can
now.
do that. Yeah, you could do that as a Jet though. They could realize, hey, he's not really working out here at tackle. Let's put him at a guard. You spent a first-round pick on him. Why would you not try that?
Because it's
I
the
also don't think
Jets.
Robert Saleh was a bad coach.
I get you. I'm just saying that.
He.
I was about to say the regression
That's
of
why
the
he's the
Jets
DC
started.
in fucking San Fran again.
The regression of the Jets started when their defense this year. They had a top 10 defense the last 3 years with Robert Salah there. This year they went from top 10 to bottom 10. Yeah,
Real quick,
That's-
bro. And then Aaron Rodgers put up regular stats, and we're gonna call him bad. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy because Aaron Rodgers
All right.
putting up these Josh
but-
Allen stats.
But what I'll also say
But
to
Aaron
that
Josh
is,
Rodgers
Allen's
had
up for
Devontae
MVP.
Adams.
but first
and
of all,
Garrett Wilson.
hey,
It
the
don't
same
matter.
thing. The same thing I said. The same thing I said, kind of to take away from Joe Burrow and the MVP. Joe Burrow was playing from behind. The Jets were playing from behind.
Okay.
But Aaron
And what
Rodgers
I'm
also
saying-
had
And
Devontae
the
and
Jets,
Garrett.
and the
What
Jets
I'm saying
went
is
5-12. Wait, what?
right. What I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
Josh Allen won 3 times as many games.
Josh Allen wasn't playing from behind, and he had those numbers. He didn't. His
The-
team wasn't in the position
what-
where he had to throw the ball.
What's the
down
Bills?
the
What's the
field.
Bills' defensive
all I'm
rating this
saying.
year? What are they? Top 10 or top 5?
I don't know.
They
I
ended
mean,
up top.
defense matters, bro. You guys know defense wins
No,
championships. We've been
bro.
preaching that since we were little kids. So
But
when
I'm
your
just
defense
saying,
sucks ass,
in when
you can't sit there and
your
be
team
like,
is
"Well,
in a
it's the
position where you
quarterback's fault.
have to throw
It's
the
Aaron
ball.
Rodgers' fault. It's Joe Burrow's fault." That's just the wrong opinion. That's like when Shannon Sharp got up there and was
I don't.
saying, "Oh man, Joe Burrow threw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. He should have thrown for three."
Right.
You're a
No.
nutcase. The defense
No.
shouldn't give up 30 points.
Well, for sure, bro. For sure. But there is something to say about a team that's playing from behind.
Aaron
Deshaun
Rodgers
Watson.
played with fucking
Deshaun
no. Name
Watson
one
is.
wide receiver Aaron Rodgers played with besides Devontae Adams. That's an all star.
Bro,
His whole career. His whole career.
Greg
I'm
Jordy
more than
I
happy to
Nelson.
wait.
Jordy Nelson.
I
I was talking
believe
Jordy
about.
Nelson.
I was talking about this
I
year.
I believe I voted for Jerry Jones. I could be wrong, and I might have voted for Woody Johnson. Ronnie's not here to confirm who he voted for, but
Jerry Jones was definitely
I mean, I thought it was
a
pretty
shame.
evident Jerry Jones might be the worst owner in professional football. I mean,
Close second.
the guy hasn't won since the salary cap came in. This should tell everybody everything right here. The New York Yankees were successful in the 90s because they hit in the draft with, their four guys, Mo Rivera, Jeter, Posada, Pettit, those guys. But they also were out there handing out contracts to Mike Musina, made him the highest paid pitcher ever. You know
And
what I
making
mean?
trades.
Roger Clemens, players like that, Alex Rodriguez. Okay, they ended up buying a World Series in 2009. Guess who can't do that now?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones can't buy a championship, and that's why he's ultimately got to be considered the the worst GM, because he was only successful when he could sign a check. He
Worst
can't
GM. I think we
manage.
can give him worst GM.
Well, worst owner
Worst
too,
worst
because
owner too, because
he's
I mean
an owner
him or
that
show.
has.
he won't hire a GM.
No,
Yeah.
well, but Showen decided no. Of the two guys who we're gonna have to pay, we're gonna pay Daniel Jones. We're gonna let Saquon Barkley walk, and then we're
I ain't
gonna
gonna
cut
lie.
Ben Jones.
That
who's
Joe
not-
Schoen guy should have listened to his kid. His kid said, "Draft Jaden Daniels. If you
We're
want to
missing
win, you only get one chance at this, Dad."
They
we're
tried to
missing a
get the
big part
Patriots
of
pick.
Saquon. Saquon's running behind the best offensive line in football right now.
second best.
Top,
But yes,
no,
it helps a lot.
it's
No,
not at all brittle.
it's
It's
not the
okay.
second best. It's the
It's not
best
the second
offensive
best.
line in football. It's not even close.
It's one of the top 5 lines of all time.
It's not even close right now, bro.
Okay,
Who's
He's
better?
averaging 8 yards.
the Detroit Lions.
They're at home.
Well, it's not even that. It's not even that they're at home. The Detroit Lions have a good line. The Eagles have it's like Detroit. The Eagles are up
You
here.
want to
You know
know
what
how
I'm saying?
good the Eagles' offensive line is? Cam Jurgens didn't play in the first half Sunday. They moved Landon Dickerson, who his left leg was literally about to fall off. They moved him from left guard to center. He snapped and played the whole first half. Cam Jurgens said, "Oh, my back's not spasming anymore. I'll play the second half for you, Landon." They sat his ass on the bench, brought in the left guard that played the whole first half, kept him in. And Saquon Barkley ran for 140 fucking yards and 2 tuds.
Bro,
All
did
right,
you
so
see that block that Mailata put on? He hit AJ Brown and like 3 people, and then Saquon Barkley just busted around the outside. Gone.
Jordan
Like,
Mailata is the
and then
reason
had to
the push
apologize to
worked, too.
AJ Brown for
Yeah.
for
dude, I
But
mean they have
off
the
off
best.
of the off of
Sorry.
off of that,
Sorry.
like Jerry Jones is just terrible. He's just
Terrible.
terrible, bro.
Bro,
Like,
atrocious.
he's just terrible. He's
He
just
he needs to
terrible.
stop making media appearances.
Yeah,
Oh.
and,
But
and
I
that's
will
another
say-
thing too. Of a guy who goes into the media every week, he can't take questions. He can't or questions hard questions. He acts like he owns the radio station in which they're asking the questions.
He low key
Gumbo,
might.
I will say if we
He
do
probably
a
does.
vote for worst owner of all time, I'm gonna give you the Browns. But
Bro.
just for this year, I think we got to give it to Jerry Jones for sure.
Gary V needs to buy the Jets.
Gary V
Woody
wants to
Johnson
buy
won.
the Jets. He
I
wants
know
to
he
buy the Jets.
does.
And Woody Johnson,
Johnson won.
if I did vote for Woody Johnson, strictly because you fired a good defensive coach, you brought in the defensive coordinator, and nothing changed.
Bro, the 49ers grabbed
Nothing
Sala.
changed.
It's crazy.
He
Yeah,
went
they-
Isn't
home.
that
that's
where
He
he
went
went?
home.
That's where he
went
was
home.
from.
He went home.
I know. I'm just saying, like, we're just gonna let the 49ers grab whatever.
I was hoping the
49ers got
Patriots
bigger
and
issues.
Vrabel would sign him.
What's Avery? You going next?
Yeah, yeah. We have a special appearance, but I'll talk about the award first. I came up with the King of the Hill award. Um, I'm a line guy. The offensive and defensive lines I don't feel get enough credit. Um, so that being said, this was an award strictly for offensive and defensive linemen only. Um, this player exudes dominance inside the trenches. Again, offensive and defensive linemen could win the award. The nominees we had five. Cam Jurgens, center from the Eagles. Trey Hendrickson, defensive end from the Bengals. Robert Hunt, left guard for the Panthers. Jared Verse, rookie defensive end for the Rams. And sexy Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle from the Giants. We have a special guest appearance to present this award. Give me a second to go get him right quick.
I wonder
Cue
who
the
would get
elevator
picked
music.
for the King of the Hill award.
Could it be Boomhauer?
I don't think it's Boomhauer.
Cartman?
Oh, dango, that's a different show. No, that's out.
Oh.
Is
Bart?
it the Costco guy who's going to give the winner 5 big booms?
Bart Simpson? No Bart Simpson?
I don't think it's Bart Simpson.
Double chocolate chunk cookie.
Is it Bobby Hill?
Bro, might be Bobby or Hank.
Hello, everybody. I'm Hank Hill. Had to go get my beverage from outside. Dale and the boys are outside. This award is brought to you by Strickland Propane, home of propane and propane accessories. The winner of the King of the Hill award, Trey Hendrickson from the Cincinnati Bengals.
Avery, who did you vote for and
Thank
why?
you, Hank.
Well, Robert Hunt.
Hey, I did
Robert
too.
Hunt. No.
Go
I
Panthers.
voted for Hendrickson then. I voted for Trey Hendrickson then. I thought I voted for Robert Hunt, but Trey Hendrickson. Man, look, I don't think he'll win Defensive Player of the Year, but
It's unfortunate.
he single-handedly was the brightest spot on that Bengals defense.
That was atrocious.
It was very bad defense, but I mean his week 17 game against the Steelers, I thought it kind of pushed him over the edge. That final drive that they had in the 2 minute, he unblockable. He had a couple of games where he was like that too. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like the nominees were pretty solid. You had to pick one guy from the Eagles line as a nominee. Cam Jurgens replaced a top 3 center all time, and
Big shoes to fill.
and nothing changed. In fact, I feel like they got better from the last couple years. So, Robert Hunt came in. It was, Josh called it one of the worst signings contract wise ever because he did not understand giving a guard $20 million a year. Well, by the end of the year, we had a 1,200-yard rusher, and Bryce Young was able to stand upright in the pocket. I feel like that's a big signing for the Panthers. Jared Verse gonna walk away with Defensive Rookie of the Year, and
Dog.
Dexter Lawrence. I mean,
All right, from a defensive line perspective, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Trey Hendrickson is a game changer. But dominance like that Dexter Lawrence had in the interior,
from a 3-tech.
That
Is
is
that who you voted for,
insane.
Riley?
yes.
Dexter
Riley
Lawrence?
made me add him to the nominees because I had those first 4, and then Riley sent me a message and said, "What about Dexter Lawrence, man?"
Bro,
I remember you guys yelling at me when we brought up. I said Dexter Lawrence was better than Cam Hayward.
no, 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 no,
Just
no,
saying.
no, no, no. I didn't say that he was. I did no. Whoa, whoa.
I was on your side.
I just remembered that there was a big
I
misunderstanding
said
there.
Dexter Lawrence was the best interior defensive tackle in the NFL as soon as Aaron Donald.
What I said
To
was
which
Yeah.
my response
was a
was, Chris
shift.
Jones is still playing.
to him.
Bro,
Yeah, I think Dexter Lawrence is better than him this year.
I
They
think
play
Dexter
different
Lawrence better than Chris
positions.
Jones.
Period.
They're-
Point blank.
Yeah,
Dexter Lawrence
but
and Cam Hayward. Just saying.
you
Can I
put
submit
Dexter
two-
Lawrence on the Chiefs. Put Dexter Lawrence on the Chiefs, bro.
Can I submit 2 special nominations for this award, just like special shout outs?
Sure.
Honorable
And
mention.
Gunner-
Go ahead.
Honorable mentions. Gunner will appreciate one of these. Ted Karras,
Dog, glass
and
eater.
then Joe Thuney.
Another glass eater. I wish we signed him.
Joe Tooney played 3 different positions on the Chiefs line this year. He played both guard spots, and they finally kicked him out to the left tackle.
Joe
and it's
Tooney's
kind of
been to
solidified.
He'll be to his 6th Super Bowl this year.
That's insane.
Both are dog.
That's
So-
insane.
Yeah, man.
Joe
I mean,
Tooney's
you
6th
you
Super Bowl
could
appearance.
you could go out there and you could probably put all 5 nominees if you wanted from the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line, but we had to
I
pick
think
one
as
from
a
them. That's why I picked Jurgens. So
I think as a Bengals fan, I get the little piece here. Watching that defense was I'm gonna put that up so far in my life, one of the top 5 worst things I've ever had to go through this year. Watching your quarterback have an MVP season, your wide receiver have a triple crown season, and you basically have the best 1-2 punch as far as quarterback wide receiver go in the NFL. And you have bottom 5 secondary. To see Trey Hendrickson go out there and just dominate week after week, drop multiple sack games, be the sack leader in the NFL, come out there and be a leader every day. And the Bengals still haven't really given him a contract. He's on the last year of his contract. I think he's a free agent this year. If they don't pay that motherfucker a little bit of money for what he just did this year, there's got to be some type of loyalty. There's got to be some
Someone
type
will.
of somebody will.
If they don't, someone will.
But
Yeah.
I have a
Go ahead.
Saints fan. I have a Saints fan who's one of my best friends. I told him about about the nominees and everything, and he told me, we were on FaceTime and letting me dead in the face and said, the New Orleans Saints are dumbasses for letting that guy go.
But they were in cap hell. They had no choice, basically.
Yeah.
It was a
They
bunch
still
of
are, aren't they?
pretty much. But
Hell yeah.
They're gonna stay in Cap Hill. Derek Carr's their
Yeah.
quarterback.
Trey Hendrickson is
Sean
single-handedly.
Payton left them with some fucking gifts. on
Trey
the way
Hendrickson
out.
is single-handedly the best free agent signing the Bengals have ever had in their entire organization's history.
I still maintain my hot take that Derek Carr is not that bad of a quarterback.
He is fucking hot garbage.
Ask Chris Olave.
Thinking.
Derek Carr is hot
Ask
ass.
Chris Olave. Chris Olave.
Raiders, Derek
Got me
Carr.
over the soul.
Chris
When was that? 6
Olave's-
years ago?
2,
All right,
3.
all right.
Because
I voted
Hey.
for Trey Henderson because he led the NFL in sacks on an atrocious defense. He gave you a reason to not turn off the fucking TV as a Bengals fan when the fucking
Yep.
defense got him.
Yeah.
Took matters into his own hands.
Yep,
I
the
think-
only reason I didn't turn the fucking TV off.
I think Gunner, you're up next.
All right. So you scroll up a little bit for me there, Dunbar, so I can read the description. Thank you. So what I had, I made an award. It's called the Turnover Chain Award. Basically, the player that makes the best play on defense, the most dominant play on defense, the most exciting, the most spectacular thing you've seen, they get the turnover chain. You know what I'm saying? Just like they do in college, but we're doing it here in the NFL. The nominees, we had Cam Taylor-Britt, the interception against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, one-handed pick, great play. Overshown, interception against the Giants. That was crazy. The Giants are on here a few times, unfortunately. Sorry to the Giants fans. Rough year for you guys as well. We got Van Tinkle, meant to put Van Ginkle, but it's Van Tinkle, pick six versus the Giants. And then we also have Nick Benito, pick six versus the Colts. Bengals should have picked him. And then Leonard Williams with the big man pick six. That was entertaining to watch. The winner came out to be Cam Taylor-Britt with the one-hand interception against Mahomes. I voted for that. I have a little bit of bias, but I haven't seen Mahomes ever get picked off like that and then not get called back for some bullshit. So it was great to see him get picked off. It was a great play. One of the few highlights of the Bengals defense this season.
I voted for the same same play for almost the same reason because you rarely ever see Mahomes get picked off. That the refs don't throw a flag and somehow turn it into a first down for the Chiefs.
I
You know,
voted for Andrew Van Ginkel. Um,
that was
he had a
nasty.
couple of plays from a stand up elephant position um, that were just amazing. Um, as far as if you throw a bubble screen to his side of the field, you better block him. If you don't, he will make sure he he relays the message of I am here. I do believe that pick six was off of a bubble screen that he just kind of reached his hand out and just snagged
It
it.
was.
Just out of the air. Basically, he didn't
He
get the nose of the ball either. I thought he kind of like got underneath the ball and kind of just come
he did
here.
it twice this year.
Yeah, he had
Look,
one of them. He took the pick six, and then the other he fell down because he kind of bobbled it.
the only other
But
player I've seen do that was T.J. Watt. So it can
Andrew Van
literally just
Ginkel, I think, had a breakout year this year for the
definitely.
Vikings. So
He's Van Eagle's low key been real good for a while.
And I will
Yes.
He
say,
was
I will
just
say
hurt. He
for
just got hurt last
Wow.
year, didn't he?
he's got hurt the last couple years with the Dolphins when
Right.
he was down in Miami.
I will say for all these nominees, anybody could pick any of these. All of these guys made exceptional plays on the field, and highlighting these plays, I mean, it's hard to pick which one.
I think
So.
I'll let Josh
Here's
go.
the thing. Thank you, dude. I'm pretty sure it's the only Seattle Seahawk that was mentioned in any of these fucking awards, dude.
You're welcome, by the way, dude.
Yeah, no doubt. Thank you. But he also deserved to be there because he's 291 pounds. He's 6'5". It was a 92-yard pick six, and it was in against the team that traded him in New York. There was
Yeah,
a
the
lot
Giants
that
means
led up
more.
to that being a very
It
special play for
it
Leonard
means
Williams.
more. It means more.
It means more, dude. It was
like I said,
big witness. Boy, this is
mine
really
was a
just
little biased.
this was really just like the Giants throwing fucking interceptions, and then like one Pat Mahomes interception was the winner. The rest was just because
Dude.
it was against the shit ass.
Shout out Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones
they-
is definitely
92-yard pick six.
I was
Beat the
going
whole
through
SPM group.
I went through the top 100 defensive plays of the year, and the Giants were on there more times than I could count. But I will
Joe
say
Schoen. Joe Schoen made the wrong
That-
choice, pal.
that Overshown pick was disgusting, and it's a shame that Overshown is pretty much cooked. He tore his ACL to shreds, and they picked him in like the third round. It was a great pick. He's from Texas, great guy.
All right. I'll go with the last one here. The last one is the dime.
This was Ronnie's, right?
Yeah, this was Ronnie's. Ronnie can't be here. He's handling some business. This is the dime of the year. It was what quarterback had the best ball and the best play. And the nominations were Anthony Richardson's back foot 80-yarder. Jaden Daniels against the Bengals. The Burrow falling touchdown to T. Higgins. Michael Penix Jr.'s sideline throw against the Panthers. And then Jaden Daniels again, his throw against the Lions.
And the winner is
The winner of the Dime of the Year is
Give it
Joe
away.
Burrow with the falling touchdown of in the falling touchdown was in week what week was this? 16 or something? 14? 15?
it was late.
It was later in the
Yeah.
season. I do remember it though. He was
Yeah.
parallel to the ground. Mahomes made a play a couple weeks ago, very
Yes,
similar.
I was just gonna
Mhm.
say Mahomes just fucking did it.
But I think Burrows was. I think the reason the difficulty on Burrows was he was literally parallel with the ground from
Levitating.
from about 12 yards out when he threw it to.
And he was stepping up in the pocket when he was on his way down.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
Correct.
like,
Yeah.
he was already in motion. Play was supposed to be dead, and somehow it ends up being a T. Higgins touchdown. And he was mic'd up when it happened, and he got up right after, and he goes, "Oh, that was pretty cool."
He's literally the coolest guy
Wholesome
on earth.
content, dude.
Oh,
Just-
I'm
he
Joe
goes-
Burrow.
he's-
I
oh
have
my gosh.
supermodels that watch my house when
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
there. I play
yeah.
quarterback
By
and
the way,
I have cool hair.
by the
You
way,
Joe
we
Burrow.
caught those motherfuckers that were at Joe Burrow's house. You ever come to Joe Burrow's house again? I'm gonna fucking be there. I'm just kidding. But somebody will be there and they'll be waiting for you.
Shout
Have
out to
security,
OSP for doing their job. Ohio State
Yeah.
Patrol. Shout out
Yeah.
to you guys for doing your
Have
job.
security.
Not
It
not
does.
a not a
It's
Victoria's
supermodels.
Secret model. You know,
Hey, things happen, man.
I voted for Jalen Daniels throw versus the Bengals.
It was nasty.
I will say because for one, it was the situation. It was
All out blitz.
driving down. It was a 35-yard ball with 20 seconds left in a tie ball game. And he's a rookie in his first Monday Night Football game.
All out blitz.
Balling out. I was
All
in
out
Erie. We
blitz,
watched
too.
that. Me, Brittle, and Riley were at Otis 12's that night. We were there watching football.
I lost $500 that night.
Bud, I hadn't seen a rookie sling the ball in a while like that. Jalen Daniels had like 400 yards that night on like 74% completion with 4 tuds. He
It
was
was not 500 yards.
cooking.
Calm
I said
down.
4. I said 4.
All right.
He was cooking. It was 4. It was like 372.
Yeah, it was. But I thought you said 5. My bad.
It was
Nah,
a
bro.
vintage Bengals
hold on.
defense game.
And
Dude, that's
back
another
corner,
example. Ugh.
back corner, short hash, back corner to Terry McLaurin, bro.
That was
Like-
a disgusting pass, especially from a rookie.
And
It's like you
catch.
said,
And
all the
catch.
things that
And
went
catch,
into it
too.
make it the best pass.
And he stepped up in the pocket with a rush coming and just zinged it.
Bro, it was a zero blitz. It was one-on-one coverage. It was a zero blitz. With 20 seconds on the clock. He
145.
dotted it.
145
insane.
quarterback rating against the blitz throughout the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't blitz that
Bananas.
fucking guy.
You can't
That
blitz
is-
him.
that's
Nah,
wild.
I think I said that in our group text. I think somebody sent out that number, that statistic. I said, sounds
I
like you
did,
don't
'Cause it's
blitz him.
insane.
Is that not what I said? I was
Yeah,
like, yeah, it sounds
can't
like
blitz.
sounds
Yeah,
like
but if you don't
him.
blitz him, then he just sits there. He sits there and throws the little bubble routes and kills you in the run game.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's got some tools. I'm curious to see what he does next year because there's a lot of guys that look really good their rookie year and then they suck the next year.
I will
That-
say this. I think
It's
there's a
called the
difference
sophomore
between
slump.
Matt
I-
Jones, for
Happens.
example.
Matt
I-
Jones, for example. CJ Stroud, for example.
I'll be honest here.
Playing
I don't
football in
see-
the playoffs.
I don't see Jalen Daniels or Jaden Daniels
His
going to
team
all
was
white
destroyed
parties.
with injuries.
I don't see Jaden Daniels going to all white parties with Michael Rubin and those guys. I
You
see
think he's
him.
locked in?
I see him being very much like Tom Brady. Tom Brady interviewing that guy.
Ooh.
You can see a little twinkle in Tommy's eye
Oh yeah.
when he's talking to
Oh,
him.
for
Like
sure.
Tommy knows he's a guy.
100%. 100%.
Have you listened to Jaden's mom?
No. What's her story?
Oh.
She said he won't have a girl. No girls allowed.
Holy
No
moly.
girls
None.
allowed.
Yeah,
Oh.
I ain't gonna lie. My mom would be tripping if she said that.
Somebody said Jaden Daniels' mom better buy him a prostitute because of how good he played this year.
Um. Well, I think that wraps up the SPs here. No.
Hey, I think it was a good job, guys. It was fun.
Hey,
Shout out to all the winners.
a,
Shout out to the nominees.
a couple things to note. Jaden Daniels' name was mentioned a bunch in this. The Giants' offense stinks. And for a team that didn't make the playoffs, there sure was a lot of talk about the Bengies.
Bengals won most of the awards.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Drake May's a Pro Bowler with 15 touchdowns and 10 picks.
I'm pretty sure Russell
Wilson.
Wilson's in the Pro Bowl,
Can we
brother.
can we just
Yeah.
let's just get rid of the Pro Bowl? Please?
Yeah, no, so we're going to skip right over the Pro Bowl. We're not going to talk about that at all. Anybody got anything on after this championship Sunday they want to talk about?
I mean, I'll just say this. Sunday was one game that you can't say the refs gave to the Chiefs.
They still definitely affected
That's
that
just
game
me.
heavily.
That
That's
was a
just
first
me.
down. It was a first down.
It was
No,
not
I
a first
think I
down.
think I think Sean McDermott gave it to the Chiefs.
It
To
was
be
not a
honest,
first
and I
down.
think at some point Sean McDermott has to be brought up
Interesting.
because it's far from just one game, dude.
I would like to make a point.
There's a
that
lot of
if-
people that can't beat that team. There's a lot
I
of
would
people
like-
who couldn't beat the Patriots. That's all I'm saying.
I would like to make a point that if Lamar Jackson can't get the job done, neither can Josh Allen, and they should both be held to the same standard.
I know a guy
That's
that
just
can.
me. Also, it was not a first down because once you turn your back to the play, forward progress is then stopped. Just throwing that one out there. Look at Jalen Hurts. There's a reason he doesn't turn. Yeah, man. Steve Spagnuolo, you are a wild boy. You are a wild boy.
You guys-
Spags.
Does anybody follow Baldinger? I
Yeah.
follow him pretty.
Brian Baldinger.
Yeah, I follow him pretty religiously.
Saw his finger on Busting with the Boys.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
No,
Get the
you
movement
gotta
of
see.
finger.
You gotta see him break down the Spags defense. And that call, wild stuff.
Bro.
One comment.
Also, Andy
I'll tell you
Reid-
what, they've really
Andy Reid.
turned that defense around because Kansas City defense, against the Bucks in that Super Bowl was probably one of the most atrocious defenses I've seen.
That's fair.
They
Spags
also went
deserves a lot
against
of credit for that.
one of the best quarterbacks to ever read a defense.
But
Oh,
I'm gonna
no.
say something. The Chiefs are probably one of the best coach teams in the NFL, if not the best coach team in the
I
NFL.
think next week we'll probably get into that, Super Bowl preview and everything. I think that's probably definitely, a point
I'm
that
just
I
saying.
would. Yeah,
This
that's
is-
definitely a point I'm gonna sit on with the Chiefs.
This is what I'll say. Okay. The difference in that game was not that game. The difference in the Eagles game was exactly what I said it was going to be. Saquon Barkley has 360 or yard or longer touchdowns in the last two games. That is insane in the playoffs. That is wild
The
work,
difference in
bro.
that game is the
That
offense
man's
and
in-
defensive line.
And he really should have.
Yeah,
four,
but you could
because
what
the
I'm
Eagles
getting
slid on one.
right.
The Eagles in
should
the
have
trenches.
four.
The Eagles in the trenches. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Chiefs do against Jalen Carter and all these guys they got rotating in there. They
Yeah.
have got some monsters in the trenches.
We talked about this. We talked about this last summer a little bit. I don't think those episodes made it out, but the Eagles had one of the best rosters, both offensively and defensively, in the AFC. Or NFC, excuse me. Defensively, it was the best.
Yeah, there was
I'm
no
gonna ask.
qualms about it, bro.
I'm gonna ask a question. If you put Derrick Henry on the Eagles with that O line, who
Yeah.
has more yards, him or Saquon?
Flip a
Saquon.
coin.
They have to
Flip a
say-
coin.
Okay, look, what do you mean? Derrick Henry had 60 less yards with the Ravens' offensive line
He
this
j-
year.
right.
Yeah, and the
Forget
yeah, the
that.
Ravens.
Like, Derrick Henry had
Saquon
1,980 yards this year.
Saquon's an athletic freak. Let's not forget he jumps over people backwards. So until I see somebody else do that, he's the best running back in football.
And that's what I'm getting at is yeah, sure they have a really good offensive line, but you can't just put any running back there in that game and expect them to have in the playoffs
Oh, no,
three
Jumbo.
60-yard
Well,
touchdowns.
listen, Kenneth
No,
Gainwell
no,
can get
three-
back there and shake some shit
Okay,
up. So.
not
Kenneth Gainwell.
there ain't three
Okay,
60-yard
we're not getting
touchdowns.
into it.
There ain't 3 60-yard touchdowns in 2 games out of many folks. Is right.
Kenneth
That's all I'm saying.
Gainwell sold my entire soul Sunday by getting concussed on the second half kickoff.
Oh, how
No,
how
so
dare
we
he
can-
get concussed? How dare he?
We can go year to year between what Miles Sanders did in Philadelphia and then what he did in Carolina.
Yes,
It was still Miles
honestly,
Sanders.
honestly, bro, Miles Sanders got 1,000 yards behind the Eagles' offensive line, then got paid. We gave him 13 M's a year.
And he
Miles
almost got
Sanders.
13 yards a game.
I'm also gonna say this jokingly. In the Bills Chiefs game, you know who would have went charging head first into that pile, and I mean head first? Tua.
100. God rest
Oh,
his soul. He's probably
I do.
concussed somewhere in Honolulu.
I do would like to shout out Dylan Gabriel for throwing a football 75 miles per hour.
Somebody's gonna snag him.
You're muted, Gunner. You're muted, Gunner.
Somebody's gonna snag him.
Still can't hear you.
You're not on mute. It's something with your headset.
Yeah, is your headset dead?
No, because he heard us say that he was on.
Yeah.
We can hear you now. I think. Talk.
Yes.
Yeah,
There
got
you go.
you.
There you go.
But yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Fuck, I'm sorry, man.
No, it's alright.
We should have tried to read lips. We should have just let you say what you were gonna say, send it to John Boy Media, and get them to read the lips like they do with everything else.
Means it's time.
Hallie Roseman, GM of the year. That's not an award, but I'm
GM of the
giving it out right now.
decade.
Yeah,
I've never seen
that guy's
a draft
gonna
class
find
like
a
that.
way to get Walter Nolan or from Ole Miss somehow.
He grabbed that whole Georgia defense, that whole defensive line from Georgia, and said, "You guys are coming to Philadelphia."
It's absolutely hilarious too because he's a Florida grad. So I've heard his phone call with N'Kobe Dean, and he was like, "Man, this sucks. I'm a Florida guy." He goes, "Nah, you making the right call. You want to win." That's what N'Kobe Dean told him on the phone. You making the right
he ain't
call.
lying.
You want to win.
N'Kobe Dean's on a breakout season. Quinyon
He's
Mitchell's
injured.
looking
He's
like
done.
one of the greatest. I mean, they hit on every draft pick. It's insane.
Jordan Davis. People forget Jordan Davis is a 2 on that defensive line.
Bro, the fallout of the 49ers has to be discussed too.
I think
they went from a Super Bowl team to not making the playoffs.
They also had some crazy injuries.
But
just-
they do that.
Just
They
like
had-
the
had a
Texans.
they had their rookie wide receiver get shot in the chest 3 weeks
You know where
before
they
the
fucked
season
up?
started.
You know where they fucked up though? That was a bad voice crack. They fucked up because they paid Debo Samuel that money. He's just a running back.
Sure.
Debo Samuel's not a wide receiver.
I
I
don't
think that
know.
would be the summer episode.
So good.
We should-
It's not going to matter. This year's
It-
going to be completely forgotten for the Niners because they're going to pay Brock Purdy 65. Quote me, $65 million a year, and that team is going to fucking crumble. And
They're gonna have to get rid of. They're gonna have to either get rid of
Bottom
Kittle, Debo,
the
or
NFC
IU.
West, they're going to be the fucking bottom dwellers, scraping up the fucking dirty ass muddy rocks from the fucking anybody who's fucking relevant in the NFL. The team's gonna suck. 'Cause the second
Hey.
that kid signs that paper, they're gonna fucking suck.
I
See you
think
later,
we
Christian
found Josh.
McCaffrey, and your
I think we found
fucking
Josh's
anyway.
Browns.
See
We
ya.
found Josh's Browns right there.
You mean his LeBron?
Yeah. Yeah, they can't be
whatever.
the Browns.
Hey,
because
speaking
the
of,
Browns
y'all
lose
see
too much.
that? Y'all saw his kid get absolutely torched last night, right? Poor Maxie.
Hey, sorry guys.
Tyrese Maxey.
Episode
Woo.
33. All those folks that live rent free in our heads: the Browns, Brock Purdy, and LeBron James.
LeBron.
They all paid their rent.
We beat Brock Purdy.
They-
Geno Smith hit him with the night. Geno's not even good.
Hey, you got the
He's
you got
still
the
living
fireworks, bro. That was
But
wild.
he's still celebrating the Seahawks beating the Niners.
All right, boys.
Shout out Draco the ruler.
Anything crazy anybody's got till next week? Come on.
Gulf of America. No, I'm just kidding.
Golf.
Nope, Thursday.
It's
Nope.
Supercross season.
Nope.
Deegan's the
man.
best 250 rider in the world.
Right now,
Yeah.
I don't want to say it because I hate him.
Okay. Well, you don't have to say it.
Just agree to disagree then.
Anything else? All right. See you folks next time.